Welcome to the Revealer Tel Aviv Toddlers Babble in Tagalog, the headline read, a startling declaration that rippled across international news desks on September 22, 2025. Reporters flocked to playgrounds and homes expecting Hebrew but instead heard Israeli children calling out in fluent Tagalog, Halika dito, and too big, with perfect ease. This wasn't a government initiative or a passing trend, it was something deeper. Across Israel, Tagalog had become woven into daily life, from Haifa to Herzliya. Grandmothers mixed Hebrew and Filipino, tech CEOs heard Filipino lullabies at home, and children switched languages as naturally as they played. The world watched, fascinated, as a Southeast Asian language found a loving home in the Middle East. The spread of Tagalog wasn't about colonization or assimilation, it was about love and human connection. It grew from quiet moments, a caregiver's comfort, shared recipes, bedtime stories. Tagalog became a bridge, a secret code of affection, connecting two cultures. Family here was defined not by blood, but by bonds built in kitchens and living rooms. Filipino caregivers had long been integral to Israeli society, caring for the elderly and young with warmth and dedication. Israeli families, in turn, opened their homes and hearts, embracing caregivers as family. The Tagalog spoken by Israeli children was absorbed through love. Echoes of lullabies, whispers of comfort, joyful shouts of play. It was the sound of a unique, beautiful relationship. The initial surprise soon gave way to understanding. This was about family. The language was more than words, it was the sound of belonging. Tagalog's spread in Israel wasn't taught in schools or universities. It was learned at home. Filipino caregivers became teachers, and Israeli families their eager students. Children, especially, picked up Tagalog effortlessly, absorbing it through daily care and affection. For toddlers, Tagalog was the language of comfort, praise, and gentle scolding. Words like mahal kita, I love you, became as natural as Abba or Ima. These children grew up bilingual, switching between Hebrew and Tagalog without a second thought. Adults, too, learned Tagalog to connect, saying salamat or kumusta ka as acts of respect and friendship. For many, learning Tagalog was a way of saying, we see you, you are family. This wasn't about business or travel, it was about love. The bond between Israeli families and Filipino caregivers created a space for genuine cultural exchange. The language became a shared treasure, a symbol of their unique connection. It was a quiet revolution of the heart, happening one family at a time. Tagalog in Israel was learned for love, not necessity. The most powerful connections were forged in simple, everyday moments. To understand this bond, we look back to 1947, when the UN voted on the creation of Israel. The Philippines was the only Asian nation to vote yes, a profound act of friendship. This wasn't random. It echoed President Quezon's earlier decision to welcome over 1,300 Jewish refugees fleeing the Holocaust. The Philippines' open-door policy and the 1947 vote created a foundation of goodwill. This history laid the groundwork for the relationship that would blossom decades later. When Filipino workers arrived in Israel in the 1970s, they entered a nation that remembered this friendship. The political act of 1947 planted a seed that grew into thousands of personal relationships. Filipino caregivers teaching Tagalog to Israeli children were walking a path paved by compassion. The gratitude and respect between the two nations became personal, lived out in homes across Israel. This wasn't just diplomacy, it was a bond forged in shared humanity. The historical handshake set the stage for everyday handshakes in Israeli homes. The memory of Filipino friendship created an atmosphere of acceptance and warmth. The connection was more than political, it was personal, enduring, and real. The seeds of history blossomed into a living, loving cultural exchange. In the 1970s, Filipino caregivers arrived in Israel, quietly transforming family life. They cared for the elderly, the sick, and children, bringing compassion and strong family values. Their dedication went beyond duty. They offered emotional support and companionship. Soon, they were seen not as hired help, but as family. Israeli families called them Auntie or Lola, reflecting a deeper bond. Caregivers were invited to celebrations, their advice sought, their presence cherished. This integration was mutual. Caregivers responded with loyalty and love, treating families as their own. They shared culture, food, and language, building new families far from home. These were families bound by shared experience, respect, and understanding. The fusion of Filipino and Israeli cultures happened in daily life's quiet moments. In kitchens, the scent of adobo mingled with Israeli spices, while lullabies in Tagalog soothed Israeli children. Food became a powerful connector. Children grew up loving pancit and falafel alike. Cooking and sharing meals became rituals of connection, with recipes exchanged and traditions blended. Caregivers helped with Hebrew homework, celebrated Jewish holidays, and shared Filipino traditions. Stories of the Philippines were told, and Israeli families learned about distant provinces and close-knit families. A unique hybrid language emerged. Hebrew, English, and Tagalog, mixed in inside jokes and shared memories. Children called their caregivers Ate, and elders said Toda, Salamat. This linguistic blend was the sound of two cultures learning to love one another. The home became a place where cultural barriers faded, replaced by empathy and shared joy. It was a family dialect, born of love and daily life. Over time, bonds in Israeli homes evolved into romance and marriage, creating a new generation of mixed families. These children are the ultimate bridge, Israeli citizens with Filipino hearts. They grow up speaking Hebrew and Tagalog, celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas, eating schnitzel and sinigang. For them, being both Israeli and Filipino is natural, a source of pride and strength. Mixed families have solidified Filipino culture's place in Israeli society. Tagalog in public parks is now the sound of a mother speaking to her child. The Filipino community is no longer just a workforce, it's family, connected by blood and shared destiny. This new generation carries the legacy of gratitude and respect forward. They are living proof that love transcends boundaries. Their existence is a powerful statement about the possibilities of human connection. They are the future, fluent in Hebrew, Tagalog, and the universal language of love. The story of Tagalog in Israeli homes is more than a linguistic curiosity. It's a lesson for our divided world. True connection isn't built by governments, but by individuals, in everyday acts of kindness and respect. The bond between Israelis and Filipinos grew organically from the heart. Tagalog became a symbol of deep friendship, woven into the fabric of shared lives. Every word spoken is an echo of love, gratitude, and trust. This relationship is a model of mutual respect. Families embraced new members, caregivers shared their hearts. There was no hierarchy, only shared humanity. In a world focused on division, this story reminds us of what can unite us. When we open our homes and hearts, we create a global family, one relationship at a time. As this story continues, the sound of Tagalog in Israel is no longer surprising. It's simply part of everyday life. Children, who once whispered their first Filipino words, are now teaching them to their own kids, and the circle of connection keeps widening. This isn't just the story of two nations, it's a reminder that when we care for one another, we create a language all our own, a language of respect, gratitude, and family. May this friendship inspire all of us to look beyond borders and discover the beauty of cultures meeting heart to heart. If this journey moved you, please like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more stories of hope and connection. Salamat Toda. Thank you for watching.